Hello everyone in Chafin Land, and welcome to the geography of Europe. Specifically, we're going to be looking at physical features today. So our standards are locate selected features of Europe, and you need to be able to locate on a world or regional political physical map the Danube River, the Rhine River, the English Channel, the Mediterranean Sea, European Plain, the Alps, the Pyrenees, the Ural Mountains, and the Iberian Peninsula. Because you are AC, I have added one more peninsula, and we'll get to that in a moment. You will see that we also have the countries that you have to know for this standard. And again, because you are AC, you need to know quite a few more. So here is our map, and you should have this in front of you. We have the political features, that is the countries, and there is your list. And then we have the physical features. We're asking you to create a map key that includes symbols that represent mountains, rivers, seas, channels, peninsulas, and plains. It could be a symbol, it could be a color that you're using for those. Then you will have to have a label. You'll have to put your key somewhere here on the map. And then you will label these physical features here. Again, it's the Rhine River, the Danube River, the Alps, the Pyrenees Mountains, the Ural Mountains, the English Channel, the Mediterranean Sea, the European Plain, the Iberian Peninsula. All those are in your standard. And then one more, the Scandinavian Peninsula. So I have put on this map almost all of the physical features. I have put all of the countries that you need to know, but you will be using your atlas for that. All right, let's talk about Europe. It is located in the northern hemisphere. Okay, remember that the Earth is divided into the northern and southern hemispheres, but also the eastern and western hemispheres. So it is in the northern hemisphere. It would also be in the western hemisphere, at least most of it. The continent of Europe is surrounded by the Arctic Ocean to the north, the Atlantic Ocean to the west, Africa to the south, and Asia to the east. And Europe, and it says excluding Russia, so not counting Russia, is smaller than half the size of the US. However, it is home to more than 40 different countries. So here's our world map, and you can see the Arctic Ocean is here, north of Europe. The Atlantic Ocean is to the west, Africa is to the south, and Asia is to the east. So Europe is a continent that has a lot of varying or different landscapes. There are plains, there are snowy mountain ranges, there are large peninsulas. In fact, Europe itself is kind of a large peninsula. Now, its most influential physical feature is water. There are a lot of rivers that go across Europe's inland regions, and there are two major oceans that surround the continent. This is a satellite view, and a lot of this is not Europe, but you can see a good portion. You can see all of Europe as well. You see we don't have boundary lines in real life. Again, you can see that there's a lot of ocean almost wrapping around. This is not ocean, and we will talk about what that is in a moment. Let's start with the Rhine River. Now, the Rhine River starts in Switzerland in the Alps mountain range. It flows northwest through Germany, France, the country of Luxembourg, and the Netherlands. It is the longest river in Germany. So we can see it here on this map. It starts down here in Switzerland. It goes north. So it starts here in the Alps, which we're going to talk about in a minute, and it flows to the North Sea. So it starts here in Switzerland, flows through Germany. A great big part of it is through Germany into the sea. Now, the Rhine River is an important waterway for shipping industries, and it's also a big water source for farms and factories. Manufactured goods are shipped down the Rhine River to the Atlantic Ocean to be shipped around the world. It is the most important commercial waterway in Europe, meaning it is used for trade quite a bit. So this is an actual picture of the Rhine River. You can see it is quite wide. It is a large river, so it can handle large sea-going ships. There's another image. Now, the Danube River. The Danube River begins in Germany and flows east across 10 countries. It goes 1,770 miles. It is the second largest river in Europe, and it is an important shipping route across the continent. It has played an important role in the development of Central Europe in terms of trade and culture. So in this case, the Danube starts here in Germany. Now I want you to remember that the Rhine here, it's blue, but it is labeled. So it starts here in Switzerland and goes up to here. But the Danube River starts very near it, starts here and flows across Germany, across Austria, across Hungary. It kind of runs right on that border between Hungary and Slovakia. Goes down, and so it again is right on the border between Croatia and Serbia. Runs across Serbia there. On that border between Romania and Bulgaria, all the way to the Black Sea. So one way to remember the difference between the Rhine and the Danube rivers is that the name, it's not a lot longer, but it's a little longer. The name Danube is longer than the name Rhine, and the Danube is a much longer river than the Rhine River. So this is the Danube. So is this. Again, it's a large and deep river. They have a lot of sea-going ships that can come through here. Now, the English Channel is a narrow body of water that separates the United Kingdom from the European mainland. Okay, so the main area of Europe, and then the United Kingdom is an island. So it is specifically between the United Kingdom and France that the English Channel runs. It is 350 miles long. In this image, you can see the English Channel here. You can see there's a very narrow place here where it's close to France. There are some wider places as well. And then this is a satellite image. Again, you can see very close there. And it's still not like you can't hop over it or anything, but it is much closer in that particular spot. And there's the English Channel. Now, the English Channel is an important waterway for trade, and they have created an underground railway and also I called the Channel. So it's the Channel Tunnel, the Channel, and it was opened, and it actually runs underneath the channel, under the water. In 1994, it opened. You can see the train, and it's coming through this tunnel. All right, the Mediterranean Sea. It is we call it the crossroads for 3 continents: Europe, Africa, and Asia. And I will show you on a map in just a minute. Now, its name literally means in the middle of the earth. So Turanian is the earth, and Medi is in the middle. So in the middle of the earth, it is surrounded by land. It surrounds Italy, and it has a dry, warm climate. So again, here is the Mediterranean Sea. So you see that Asia is on the border of it there. The coast of Asia is on the Mediterranean Sea. One coast of Asia is on the Mediterranean Sea. We have part of Africa along the Mediterranean Sea, and Europe here along the Mediterranean Sea. And you can see that when it says it surrounds Italy, you see a lot of other sea names, okay? Remember that a sea is a part of an ocean. The Mediterranean Sea is a part of the Atlantic Ocean. There is a very narrow area here called the Strait of Gibraltar, and the Atlantic Ocean flows into this area. And then there is another strait over here called the Bosporus Strait on the eastern side. And so the water flows from the Atlantic Ocean into the Mediterranean Sea, and then it can flow out into what's called the Black Sea. And again, we have a satellite view, and you can see this over here. This is the Strait of Gibraltar. What we cannot see as easily on this is that Bosporus Strait, but we can see the Strait of Gibraltar. There's a picture of the Mediterranean Sea. Now, the Mediterranean Sea covers 965,000 square miles. It is the world's largest inland sea, meaning the largest sea that is kind of surrounded by land. It has been an important center for trade and cultural exchange for thousands of years. So people have been trading in that area for a long, long time, but also it is a big tourist area, as you can see here. Now, the Alps mountains. The Alps are a mountain range located in Austria, France, Germany, Switzerland, Italy, Slovenia, and Liechtenstein. They are almost 700 miles long. They are a major tourist destination. People go there to ski. So here's the Alps. This is the yellow area that you're seeing here. And then on the map, and then this picture is the Alps. So you can see they're very high, very snowy, very icy. There's another picture. And here's another one. Now, the Pyrenees, and that's how we say this name, the Pyrenees, they are a mountain range that form the natural border between France and Spain, and they are about 270 miles long. Now, on this map, you can see this brown and tan area here. This is the mountain range, and it is on this border between France and Spain. And so this is a picture of the Pyrenees Mountains. There they are again. They are very rocky type mountains. Now, the Ural Mountains, they are considered to be the natural boundary between Europe and Asia. So not like a map boundary, but an actual natural physical boundary. They divide Russia between the continents. Remember, Russia is huge, and 1/4 of it is in Europe and 3/4 of it is in Asia. The Ural Mountains are almost 1,500 miles long. So on this map, right there they are. Right there, it just has their name. It doesn't have any symbols or anything, but it divides. This is all part of Russia, but all of this is also part of Russia. Now, on this map, down in the lower right, they've put some symbols, and you can see that the Ural Mountains are there. You just can't see the country names and that sort of thing. The Ural Mountains are very old mountains. They are a very long mountain range. They also go up very high. You can see they're up in the clouds. Now, the Iberian Peninsula. Now, the countries of Spain and Portugal, they are both on the Iberian Peninsula. The Pyrenees Mountains form the northern border of the Iberian Peninsula, and they separate that peninsula from the rest of Europe. So we kind of just saw that, but this almost square piece of land is the Iberian Peninsula. The Pyrenees run right here along the border, remember, between France and Spain, so it creates a natural border there. Remember that a peninsula is almost completely surrounded. Some definitions say surrounded on 3 sides by water. We don't always have actual sides to the land, so it's almost completely surrounded but still connected to larger land. And so here is again a satellite view, and you can't see this corner over here, but the mountains are here making that border. So this is just part of the Iberian Peninsula. Now, our additional peninsula is called the Scandinavian Peninsula. It extends from Northern Europe, and the nations of Norway, Sweden, and parts of Finland are on the Scandinavian Peninsula. So this is a drawing of the Scandinavian peninsula, and just like the satellite view, you cannot see the difference in the countries, but we have Norway, we have Sweden, and then part of this is still considered part of the peninsula, and that is Finland. And so here you can see it, the satellite view, and you can see all the snow and ice that's there because it's way up above the Arctic Circle parts of it. Now the European plain, it is an enormous landform. It stretches from France's Atlantic coast, so where France touches the Atlantic Ocean, in the west, all the way to the Ural Mountains in the east. It is 2,000 miles long or wide. It is the largest mountain-free landform in Europe. So in this drawing, you can see everything that is gray here is the European plain. So starts over here in France along the Atlantic Ocean, and it does not go all the way across because it's not including areas that are mountainous. So it kind of curves around the mountains here, and then it spreads all the way over to the Ural Mountains. Now the European plain has a lot of farmland, and it is a very successful agricultural area. And some of the largest cities can be found there: Moscow, Paris, and Berlin. Okay, so this is just a picture of part of the European plain. And you see this looks like it could be almost anywhere, really. And those are the physical features that you need to know. So go back and view the video again if you had any trouble getting your notes. And always remember that you can ask any questions that you have. And by all means, remember that you are seen, you are known, you are cared for, and you are loved.